Good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Menachem Creditor. It's my honor to serve as scholar in residence and rabbi for UJA Federation of New York. We bring you Torah and music, blessing, and community every weekday. We've been doing so since March 18th, 2020. Today it is April 16th, 2025. That is more than 5 years of Torah every single day, of finding each other from everywhere around the world just to say good morning. Arlene and Michael, oh, Rabbi Evan Schultz, what a gift to see you here, my friend. Susie, sending love to Toronto. Janice, welcome. Helen and Neil. Neil, I miss you. How many times can I say so in a live broadcast until we do something about that? So good to see you. Helen and Anya, Linda and Barbara, Rosa, sending love to Malta. Shush, good to see you. Hi, Ivies. Barry and Siona, Chana sending love to Jerusalem, Lydia and Janice. Yes, it is still Matzah Day, that's true. Hi, Cecile, good to see you. Shari sending love. You are in the hospital still. This is 31 days. And you are acting in gratitude. That was a long message. It kind of just blanked off my screen, but most of all, sending you healing and strength. It's good to see you. Let's see who else is here so we can say good morning to them. Debbie, welcome. Dale, nice to see you too. Susan and Cynthia, Minna and Deborah. Deborah sending love to Tennessee. Tara and Sandy sending love to North Carolina. Deborah and Barbara. Linda, Joyce, good to see you too. Jack and Carl Stanley, nice to see you. Deborah, you are standing at the foot of the San Francisco Bay. I am seeing that with you. Judy, you are sending love from an unnamed army base. Thanks for blessing everyone around you. If you want to thank them for a global community of Torah, for being defenders of Am Yisrael, that would be an amazing thing to do in our name. Thank you for being there to support our people too. Corinne and David, good to see you. All right. Hi, Adrian. Let's take a breath, sing a bracha. Let's learn some Torah. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Ron. Nice to see you. Okay, here we go. All right, friends. Good morning. It is broadcast 1283. Penny, I saw that. Thank you for that. It is day 558 since October 7th. There are a lot of numbers. Let me share a few Pesach numbers and a few UJA numbers. Catherine sending love to Australia. It is very dark tonight, but it is light wherever you are, I am sure. As of yesterday, UJA has distributed $188 million of the Israel Emergency Fund to support Israel's healing and rebuilding efforts. We have been a diligent partner with countless others, including 400 grantees, to do the work of building and rebuilding our people. It has been a long time of doing this rebuilding work but UJA has been around for a long time doing holy and urgently needed work, and I'm very proud to amplify it in every way that I can through rabbinic voice, through whatever support I can show, and hopefully to invite you to show the support that you can too. Um, Yesterday, I had an experience that I wanted to begin with today. Yesterday, I was blessed for the seventh time, this is my seventh year as rabbi at UJA, to visit city headquarters down, down by Wall Street, where for the last long time they have had a Pesach gathering, a lunch and a learn, and I've been truly blessed to be invited to learn with hundreds of their staff from all over the world, from London and Tel Aviv and all over the United States, different staffers, different employees of city showed up to share their own Pesach traditions. But in the headquarters in New York City, there were a good number of non-Jewish employees who showed up too, because it's part of an interfaith effort. And I wanted to share a very specific part of this. Not only was it an honor to represent UJA, not only was it emotional to say, look what it is to show up affirmed as a Jew, to celebrate proudly in our tradition. Last year, I remember speaking and talking about how we pour out some of our cup of, at Seder, some of our wine glass or our grape juice when we're reciting the plagues. For those who don't know, whenever we recite the list of the plagues that hit Egypt as part of our redemption, we reduce joy. So we take, some of us take a pinky and we take from the cup and put it on our plate. Some of us have a spoon. My wife actually has a tradition of actually spilling out from her cup. It's very emotional. And one of the things it's meant to do is evoke a radical kind of empathy. What is it to stand recognizing that my freedom, which is my right, and fighting for it is also my right, it comes at a human cost. Freedom will not be complete until there's none of that. Meaning, when I take a drink from this wine goblet that I've now taken wine out of, it is an incomplete experience of freedom. That's actually part of Seder. It is a central part of Jewish ritual, and this is our story. Last year I shared this, and I spoke honestly and with heartfelt passion for our people. It was, today is day 558 since October 7th, so take away a whole year's worth of days. It was more recent that I was remembering and more fresh the fight. And I spoke about this last year at City, and I said that in no way reduces my commitment to seeing the full humanity of Palestinians in Gaza. It is important for me to acknowledge that my freedom, as Lila Watson famously taught in South Africa, that my freedom is bound up in the freedom of others. And I will not erase the humanity of an entire group because of the terrorists and what they've done to me, what they've done to us. This is an enormously important message. I cannot erase the threats to freedom of those in America when those doing the fighting are doing it in the name of fighting anti-Semitism. The erasure of the humanity and the dignity of another is unacceptable in Jewish terms. It's a complicated moment to navigate, but we are called to make sure to name it, at the very least, and to shift even the fullness of our joy in recognition that no human should be erased from existence and no one's humanity should be ignored. Last year when I talked about this at City, the day finished, people were going to get lunch, and I remember standing there, and a young woman came up to me, emotional, crying. She introduced herself. She was an employee at City, and she said, I have lost many family members in Gaza during this war, and I'm really grateful that you said something about them. And I stood there and I was so emotional. that even in my pain, which I am still feeling, we are still feeling, we are still fighting, I was able to speak with kindness and with love and respect about her family. And I asked her permission and we hugged. I remember hugging last year. It was a moment that will stay with me forever. And I want her to have a full cup of joy too. I want her family to know that they are loved. Well, this year we I did my talk again, and then she got up to speak to this room of hundreds of people. And she was invited. There were a whole bunch of people representing city that spoke. Um, and she said that she was moved by last year's Seder experience to now become one of the co-chairs of the interfaith work for city employees. And she has hosted Diwali, and she has hosted Christmas and Iftar. And this is her second Pesach, her second Passover. And I was so moved at what that represented, and so grateful to see a corporate workplace take faith seriously and make sure that humanity is the core of the expression of faith. And I am brought back to the tradition at Seder of spilling out some of our grape juice, some of our wine, some of our joy. I am morally obligated to fight for my family, and I choose to. I'm proud to. And that fight can make it very hard to remember the humanity of the other. We will only see a better day when everyone's cup is full. When I, and maybe you, go to open the door at Seder, it's an incredible moment of anticipation. And as a child, I remember just running to be the one who would open the door. I would see Eliyahu Hanavi, Elijah the prophet. I was so excited. I knew he'd be there. And then I remember becoming a little bit jaded through adulthood. And I stopped expecting Elijah to be there to tell us that there would be a better day. We use the word Mashiach to describe that Messiah. I stopped believing that he would be there. And I'm working hard these days, and I invite you to work hard too. To imagine that when we open the door, the next time we open the door, Elijah the prophet and Miriam the prophet will be there to tell us that things are getting better. I know that my sister at City wishes nothing less. We both wish it. Maybe if we can remind ourselves the core of our humanity, and that we expect and demand to be seen as fully human, just as all people do. And we should fight for them too. I'm not quite sure how, but I will not give up on the moral mandate of seeing God's image everywhere I turn. So I hope that this Pesach for us finds us a little bit more joyful, a little bit more free. I've been looking at the pictures of the 59 hostages that remain. I'm looking at all of them. And I'm reminded that Tamir Adar, who was 38 when he was taken from Nir Oz, and Muhammad al-Atarash, who was 39 when he was taken from Otef Aza, they're brothers too. We've got work to do. May we, friends, do that work with some joy, knowing that one day, please God, will open the door to a world where more people have more joy because of the work we've done. Let's send our hearts to the east. Holon balevav pnima nefesh Yehudi homiya ulefatei mizrach kadima ayin letzion Sophia od lo avda tikvateinu התקווה בת שנות 2000 להיות עם חופשי בארצנו ארץ ציון וירושלים להיות עם חופשי בארצנו ארץ ציון Virushalayim. Bring them home now. Am Yisrael Chai. Chag Sameach, friends. See you tomorrow.